Well, if it seems your Rangers have not been around lately, you'd be right. Since the beginning of the month, they've had the great Rangers home crowd behind them only 4 times. As anyone on this team would tell you, there's no place like home. Yet through their absence, they've maintained their lead in the West and are chomping at the bit to begin the home portion of the run to the postseason. Tonight, your Rangers welcome the Boston Red Sox and their 2 millionth fan to the ballpark at Arlington as a 10-game homestand begins next on Fox Sports Southwest. They're back. Yep, the Rangers and their fans back at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington for the first time in what seems like an eternity. Tonight, the Boston Red Sox kick off a 10-game homestand for the Rangers here at home. And glad to have you all aboard, along with Tom Greaves, Steve Busby. Glad to be with you this evening, and it should be an exciting homestand. The Rangers are very happy to be back here after a 4-4 road trip, but it seemed like we've been away for months from this place. And the Rangers welcoming an old foe, and that'll be the Boston Red Sox, Tom.
Yeah, you know, Boston has had a really good team, Buzz, the last couple of years, but the Rangers have played them tough. In fact, in the last 20 meetings, the Rangers are 14-6. You can't go 14-6 against a team without dominating in all aspects of the game. The Rangers have out-hit them. They've outscored them by 2 runs a game. They've certainly out-pitched them as well. They've really played well against them so far this year, just 2 games in Boston, but in those 2 games, they outscored the Red Sox 24-6. Red Sox have a really good offensive team, and they can strike at any time. So past record doesn't mean anything. Got to go out and do it tonight.
And it'll be up to Scott Feldman to kick it off on the right foot as he gets the spot start tonight. It'll be Feldman and the Rangers against the Boston Red Sox and Felix Dubron. All that's coming up next from the Rangers Ballpark in Arlington on Fox Sports Southwest. you by your Texas Ford dealers. Head to your Texas Ford dealer for the summer sales event and enjoy some of the greatest deals of the season. Ford is the best in Texas. By Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. And by the Progressive Insurance Group. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. Beautiful overhead look at the ballpark from the upper home run porch. And big crowd again filing in to watch these Rangers return home for the first time since July the 8th. They're in front of the home crowd. They will be taking on the Boston Red Sox. We'll be showing you throughout the evening shots of the crowd because the Rangers, if they draw over 37,000 tonight, will surpass the 2 million mark in attendance for the year. This is the earliest they would ever have accomplished that in the history of Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. So congratulations to all of the fans both here tonight and that have come out in record numbers this year to support the Texas Rangers. The good-looking young fans on hand and some dad and son moments here tonight. Rangers averaging just over 43,500 per game. That is the second best in the major leagues. Philadelphia about 44,700. The Rangers far and away leading the American League, certainly in average attendance and total attendance. We will, because of other time constraints, we will come back and give you the starting lineups and the first pitch right after this short timeout on Fox Sports Southwest. Boston Red Sox lineup that Bobby Valentine, former Ranger manager, has put out there to face the Ranger right-hander Feldman. Jacoby Ellsbury back in the lineup. He is in center field, hitting second. Also a returnee to the lineup, Carl Crawford. He plays left field. Dustin Pedroia at second base, bats third. Adrian Gonzalez is the cleanup man. He's the first baseman. The DH is Cody Ross. Jared Saltalamacchia, the former Ranger, behind the plate. He will hit fifth. Will Middlebrooks is at third base. Ryan Sweeney will play in right field tonight. And Mike Aviles is the shortstop, and he is batting ninth.
Well, check out the scouting report for Scott Feldman. He's 3-6. ERA is 5.89 in 16 games. Nice strikeout to walk ratio, 28-4 in his last 6 starts. Left-hand hitters, 248. Right-hand hitters, Scott's going to have to work on that. They're hitting 324. He last pitched about 2 weeks ago. He had 2 shutout innings of relief here against Minnesota. 4 days before that was his last start. Gave up 4 runs in the second inning at Chicago and then threw really well for the next 4 innings. Ended up pitching 6 innings in that game. So his last 6 innings total have been scoreless. And in those 6 innings, he had a good cutter and a good sinker. Featured him pretty much exclusively. And we'll see what he features tonight against the Red Sox.
So Jacoby Ellsbury stepping in to start things off. Ellsbury hitting .350 since getting back into the lineup last week. And the pitch to him is outside. A sinker missed. 1 ball, no strikes. Ellsbury has hit safely in his last couple of ball games. And he is a spark plug for this Boston offense, as those numbers would tell you. Hit well to left center field, but Hamilton moving to his left, Josh there, and makes the catch for out number 1. And the rest of the team defensively behind Scott Feldman, you saw Hamilton, Gentry's in center, and Nelly Cruz in right. Around the infield, Brandon Snyder, the start at first base. Kinsler and Andrews up the middle. Adrian Beltre at the hot corner, and Mike Napoli catching. And then you look at the umpiring crew. Bill Welke, a 13-and-a-half-year veteran behind the plate. Chris Guccione at first, and Jeff Nelson, Tim Tashida, the crew chief, is over at third. 1 out, Carl Crawford. Missed all but the last 7 ball games with wrist problems and necessitated surgery. Takes a strike on the outside corner, and it's 0-2 from Feldman.
Well, Scott's had a tough assignment this year, Buzz. He's been a long reliever. He's been a spot starter. And the definition of that is you never know when you're going to pitch, and it can be a lot of time off between outings. Scott's had 2 weeks off between his last outing and today. But in the big leagues, you got to be ready when it's your turn. And Scott's done a pretty good job of trying to stay ready when his name has been called. And great example of it tonight.
Feldman again with the 0-2 pitch. And he brushes Crawford back with that high-tide fastball.
Not a job for a young, inexperienced pitcher. It's kind of like being a pinch hitter. Veteran guys that are accustomed to it seem to handle it better.
Got him swinging. Good breaking ball, and Napoli able to corral it and make the tag, and Feldman breaking out that hook gets the strikeout. There are 2 gone for Pedroia.
Yeah, very effective way to use the curveball too. Get ahead with your cutter, get ahead with your 2-seam fastball, and then with 2 strikes, when they're not accustomed to seeing it, drop that curveball out of the strike zone, and you got Crawford to chase it.
Well, here's Dustin Pedroia with the bases empty and 2 away. Pedroia, you can see 3 out of 6 in his career against Scott Feldman. He looks at strike 1. You know, he talked about Feldman, the time off in between his assignments. 2 weeks since he was back on the mound, but more than that since he started. I've got to think Scott Feldman didn't really know what to expect when he takes it out there either.
No, I think you go out there and you've done whatever you can on the side, in the bullpen, to stay ready. But yeah, I think you're see what happens as it unfolds.
Surprise, surprise. 1-1 pitch.
Had pretty good command of his pitches so far.
He has. And the big thing for Scott, and I know you and I have talked about this, Tom, is to keep things simple. That the good sinker, the good cutter, an occasional breaking ball that you saw to Crawford to get the strikeout, but well, just make it easy on yourself, and so far so good. 1-2 pitch hit well to center field. Gentry moving slightly to his left, and that'll do it. A couple of fly balls and a punch out. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Feldman and the Rangers. Half inning gone by. Red Sox 0. Rangers coming up on Fox Sports Southwest. and Ron Washington out there. Ian Kinsler leads off. He's at second. The shortstop, Elvis Andrews, back. Left field hits third. Cleanup hitter is the third baseman, Adrian Beltre. Michael Young handling the DH chores tonight, batting fifth. Nelly Cruz in right field, bats sixth. Mike Napoli is behind the plate. He bats seventh. Brandon Snyder, the start at first. He'll bat eighth. And Craig Gentry, the number 9 man, plays center field.
And we'll check out the scouting report for Felix Dubron. Having a nice season. 10-4. Solid ERA. He's had 18 starts. Throws a lot of pitches, over 17 pitches per inning. That's the third most in the American League. When men get in scoring position, he hasn't been as successful. He's done a great job of keeping them out of scoring position. But when they get there, batters have hit .333. The kid from Venezuela served a long and successful apprenticeship in the Red Sox farm system. A couple of opportunities at the big league level before this year, but given the chance to start this year, he's taken the ball and run with it. It's done a nice job for him.
He's still just 24 years old, and he's facing Ian Kinsler, and count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike. Kins, a .271 hitter. Hits this one off the end of the bat toward left center field. Ellsbury in a hurry. He can't get there. It's down for a base hit. Ian got that ball down toward the end of the bat, but he and the Rangers will take that leadoff single to begin things against Dubron.
Yeah, Ellsbury must have been playing pretty deep. That ball carried quite a ways out in the left center field. He wasn't able to get to it. Pitch from Dubron. There it is, right off the end of the bat. And probably a good thing he hit it off the end of the bat. Didn't go far enough for Ellsbury to get it. Ellsbury's playing about normal position out there, just placed in a spot where he couldn't get to it.
Now Ellsbury and Crawford back in the lineup playing center and left, and they cover a lot of ground, but this is a very spacious outfield compared to what they deal with at Fenway Park on a daily basis. So here's Elvis, and the first pitch to him is a fastball strike. Elvis brings a 10-game hitting streak into play tonight. And batting average creeping back up to toward the 300 level. One of the handful of Rangers that had a very good road trip. 0-2 the count as Dubron pulled the string on him.
I think, Buzz, if you were to say to the Red Sox that Dubron would be 10-4 right now, they'd have to be thinking, wow, we're having a great season. If a guy that we didn't even know would be in our rotation was 10-4, Buck Holtz is 8-3, you'd be feeling pretty good. But then you find out that Beckett and Lester together are 10-16, and kind of takes the fun out of it. Those are their 2 top guys.
0-2 pitch, and that's just off the corner. Yeah, when Dubron has as many wins as those 2 guys together,
yeah,
your top left-hander, top right-hander, you know it has not been the kind of year you could really pin your hat on. John Lackey, the one on the right there.
Josh Beckett next to him.
Dubron a long look at first, and the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball line into the glove of Middlebrooks. He turns it into an easy double play. Kinsler thought that ball was over his head. He wasn't hit hard enough to get by Middlebrooks. Just like that, a 5-3 double play, and it erases Kinsler. 2 gone.
Well, it sure looked like it was going to be over his head. Middlebrooks timed it perfectly. He was stationed it just right, and right at the top of his jump, he was able to catch it, turn it into an easy double play.
Well, he got up off the ground in a hurry and went way up there, and Ian Kinsler said, oh, shoot. Thought that was in there. So base is empty now. Here's Josh Hamilton.
I think at the beginning of the year, if you had to pick 10 pitchers in the American League who had a chance to win 20 games, one of the 10 would have been John Lester.
Yeah.
It's been just a really perplexing season for the Red Sox because Lester just really hasn't been himself all season long. Beckett has struggled.
Now, there's some concerns, and we will probably see Beckett here on Wednesday, but there are also some concerns about his health, about Josh Beckett's health. And we'll kind of get into those a little bit more come Wednesday.
John Lackey standing next to him right there. Hasn't pitched all year. He's been injured. Won't pitch all year.
Tap foul, and the count moves to a ball and 2 strikes to Hamilton. Dobront, imagine, doesn't have very good feelings about the last time he faced Hamilton. It resulted in a 3-run triple for Josh, and the count goes 2-2. That was in Fenway last year. 4 games this year, or the last 4 games, I should say, 10 for 19. And Dobront following a pretty normal pitch pattern against Josh Hamilton, especially from the left side. A lot of breaking balls down out of the strike zone. The 2-2 pitch. That's top foul.
Dobront pitched 614 innings in the minor leagues. He's 24 years old, signed out of Venezuela when he was 17 or 18. So he had a long opportunity to develop in the minor leagues. He wasn't rushed. And it's paying some dividends this year, getting his first opportunity to start early in the season and stay in the rotation.
The count has gone full to Hamilton. Dobront okays the sign, the payoff pitch on the way, and that's fouled away to the left. Hamilton trying to extend the first inning. If he's able to get aboard, the Ranger cleanup hitter, Adrian Beltre, would get a shot at the left-hander Dobront. Dobront, the 2010 Red Sox minor league pitcher of the year. And again, the 3-2 got him swinging. Hamilton going on strikes. The Rangers, after a promising beginning, have nothing to show for a leadoff single. We'll go to the second. Still scoreless. Rangers and Red Sox.
All right, thanks, Buzz. Ranger fans happy the Rangers are back home? You bet. Let's get a winning streak going here. Community Corner tonight helped the Rangers help the Snow Monkeys. That's right, the most sought-after, popular stuffed snow monkeys now on sale here at the ballpark at 3 different gates. For more information, come on out the ballpark, get you one of those stuffed snow monkeys. Also, Nolan Ryan will send a thank you card with that. Way to go, Rangers. Got another out this inning. There you go, Buzz.
All right, Noxie, thank you. And then while we were talking snow monkeys, Adrian Beltre, or I should say Adrian Gonzalez, grounded out to second base. So 1 pitch, 1 gone for Scott Feldman, who has worked very efficiently through the first 4 hitters. And he will now face Cody Ross, the designated hitter.
Yeah, I think when Scott's at his best, that's exactly what he's doing. He's getting a lot of balls hit off the handle. Not necessarily getting a lot of strikeouts, but he's getting a lot of balls that aren't hit that well, turned into outs, doing it quickly, not having to throw a lot of pitches.
Yeah, and that's a big thing, I think, for Scott Feldman as he faces Cody Ross, is that, you know, if he throws enough strikes early in the count, he's going to get guys swinging at him because they don't want to have to try and guess whether it's cutter, curveball, or sinker when they're behind in the count.
That last two-seam fastball, that looked like a left-handed slider. It had so much movement on it. If he did make contact with that, chances are he would have hit it right off the hands and hit a little ground ball.
1-1 pitch, pop foul. Over to take a look. Landon Snyder, but he's going to run out of room. That's 7 rows back.
That to me is one of the toughest combinations for a hitter. You run the fastball in on the fist and then throw the next pitch a cutter away. So he's seen a ball on the inside, a ball on the outside, each one of them breaking a different way. And if you're able to locate the pitches where you want to, that's a tough combination. It leads to success for Scott.
That breaking ball is wide, and the count is even at 2-2. Well, and, you know, honestly, that's making pitching very simple because he's throwing the same pitch, the same basic pitch as the fastball. But because of the grip, it moves 2 different ways. And, you know, you don't have to get caught in between about, okay, what kind of a pitch do I want to throw now? It's a fastball. Which way is it going to move? I'll tell you in a second. That's fouled back.
I think earlier in the season, if he'd thrown 16 pitches, 3 or 4 of them would have been curveballs. And now he's used a curveball to strike out Crawford and 1 to Ross that was down and away. But thrown predominantly the other 2 pitches. They're the kind of pitches that doesn't matter if the hitter's looking for a fastball. If he gets one of those 2 fastballs with that kind of movement, the movement takes care of whether or not he's looking for it or not.
There's the breaking ball, and that's the 2nd strikeout of the evening for Scott Feldman. Cody Ross gone swinging.
And the thing that makes his curveball more effective, I think, is when you can establish the other 2 pitches and make the hitter aware, is it coming in? Is it going away? Whoops, there's the curveball, and you've swung at one out of the strike zone.
Right.
When you don't see as many of them, it's tougher to hit it.
So 5 up, 5 retired. And with the bases empty, here is Jared Saltalamacchia to face Scott Feldman. Saltalamacchia already a career high in home runs this year. He's got 18, and he looks at a strike at the knees. Salty, as the numbers would tell you, though, hitting just .228, but it's been a damaged-laden .228. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, Carlton Fisk has the all-time home run record for a catcher with the Red Sox. He had 26. Jared's got a shot at that.
High and tight. You know, Salty, of course, the switch hitter, as many Ranger fans will remember. Last 10 ball games. Not a whole lot of production, but it has been a home run laden 10 games. That ball belted to right center field, and there's number 19. Saltalamacchia got one down out over the plate, and he puts the Red Sox on top 1-0.
It definitely is a pitch that most hitters aren't going to hit 410 feet. But Saltalamacchia hit that low fastball, got it up in the air. You know, the ball sunk. It's down at the bottom of the strike zone. He's still got the good part of the bat on it.
He went right down and got that, didn't he?
Sure did.
The 1-0 Boston. And here's the rookie Will Middlebrooks. Long home run over the Ranger bullpen in right center field. And the pitch outside. Middlebrooks at .285, and for quite a while, I mean, he was the talk of the American League as far as Rookie of the Year was concerned. That was until Mike Trout came up and caught fire. And Middlebrooks is kind of taking a back seat to Trout, but still having an outstanding rookie year with 11 home runs and those 42 runs driven in.
It's a bad year to be a rookie in the American League. If you're thinking rookie of the year, unless your name is Mike Trout.
Feldman to the wind, and the 3-1 pitch. Hit well to right field. That sends Cruz back. He is at the track. He leaps up, and the ball just comes out of his glove as he crashes into the wall. Middlebrooks is going to be at second base with a double off the glove of Nelly Cruz.
The ball carried a little bit better than it looked. But Nelly knows exactly where he is. Got to the wall, jumped, just couldn't keep it in his glove.
He kind of had a snow cone when it first got in there. Ball coming up right to the top of the fingers and the webbing, and that little jar against the padding was all it took to shake it loose. So a home run followed by an opposite field double. And Ryan Sweeney, the right fielder, steps in. And he takes a strike from Feldman. Sweeney has had the most at bats of any Red Sox hitter in the lineup against Feldman. You can see he's done the most damage by far. 421 is career average. It's fouled back and out of play. It's no balls and 2 strikes. Sweeney, the veteran outfielder, has not enjoyed an awful lot of success in the last week or so. Hitting here with Middlebrooks at second. A run in, and there are 2 outs in the second. 1-2 the count. Feldman ready, a check of second base. And a little nubber off the bat of Sweeney, right back to Feldman. A little lob to first, that'll do it. But Saltalamacchia's solo home run gets the Red Sox on the board. A run on a couple of hits, 1 left. After 1.5, 1-0 Boston on Fox Sports Southwest. Emily Jones has been following this breaking news. Let's go down to Emily right now.
Guys, thank you very much. Here with Rangers General Manager John Daniels, and the news on Colby Lewis is not good.
Yeah, you know, Colby had an MRI about 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, and had a small tear in his flexor tendon, which helps support the elbow. It's not the Tommy John ligament, the UCL, but it's still a pretty important part of the elbow, obviously. He tried to pitch through it. He got an injection, came back, went 5 innings against Oakland, started feeling tight after that. And, Colby's got, the best makeup, biggest heart and, intestinal fortitude on the club. And so when he says, he can't do it, kind of perk up and listen. And unfortunately, at this point, I think the best course for him, is probably get this thing repaired, and he'll be down for the year.
Done for the season. They said 9 to 12 months for his recovery. He's a free agent after this year. The question marks remain about his future, and also, too, in the immediate future for this club.
Well, I think as far as Colby with the Rangers, going forward, we want him to be part of the franchise. This guy's pitched some of the biggest games, biggest wins, regular and postseason, and in the franchise's history. And we love the guy. We definitely want him around for his production, but also what he means to the team and the other young starters. As far as the team, we've had these hiccups before, and I don't mean to minimize it, but it's an opportunity for somebody else to step up. Martin Perez is going to get the start tomorrow, and hopefully with Roy Oswalt's back, it's just a one-game miss, and we'll bounce back as we always do.
Have to ask you, does this increase the sense of urgency on the trade front?
It changes the landscape a little bit, but we have other guys that we trust and believe in. That Feliz coming back, Martin Perez stepping in, Scott tonight. So I don't think we feel an absolute urge to react to this. But we've been looking all along. We've been maintaining dialogues with clubs. We'll see what happens.
JD, thanks for the time. We appreciate it, guys. We'll send it back up to you in the booth.
All right, Emily, thank you. It's unsettling, I guess, would be the best way to put it. Certainly the thoughts go out to Colby, and hope that surgery takes care of things. He's able to get back to pitching in 9 to 12 months. It's really a shame, though, to see a guy that the Rangers, as John Daniels said, the guy that the Rangers really bank on to pitch the big games, to be a steadying influence on the pitching staff, and to have him have to go down with surgery is just a shame. Adrian Beltre starts off the Rangers second with that looping double, and Michael Young trying to at least get him over. Fouls it out of play to the right. Count moves to a ball and a strike.
And hopefully the Rangers and John Daniels indicated it was something that he was definitely in favor of. We'll be able to figure out a way to work out a contract with Colby, knowing he's going to be out for as long as he's going to be out, and work around that to reward him for what he has meant to the franchise. I just feel terrible for Colby.
Taking ball inside. Michael takes it. It's 2-1. Yeah, that's the part of the game that really stinks sometimes. Things like that happen, and there's not a doggone thing you can do about it. So deal with it as it comes up and move forward from there.
Yeah.
Dobrana check of second, and the pitch to Young. Ground ball to the right side. That will get Beltre to third as Gonzalez handles the ball and takes it to first. That's out number 1, and Nelly Cruz now will come up. Hey, Ranger fans, Chevy is proud to present a new show called Chevy Hometown Kids. It's not about the score, it's about the experience. So tune in each Saturday at 10 a.m. right here on Fox Sports Southwest, or you can visit www.hometownkids.tv for more information. Michael Young has a productive out. Beltre now just 90 feet away with the tying run in this ballgame. And here's Nelly Cruz trying to pick up the tying run, and the pitch outside to him for ball 1.
Well, one thing, Buzz, it looks like a pretty good night to hit the ball in the air to right center field and straight away right field, the way the 2 balls the Red Sox had carried.
We got that jet stream going, don't we? 1-0 pitch. It's a ball and a strike.
I think Saltalamacchia hit his ball well enough to be a legitimate home run, but there's no doubt it carried a little bit extra over the Ranger bullpen. And the ball Middlebrooks hit to right field. Didn't look like he hit it that well. Cut her away from him. Carried all the way to the wall out there.
You get those flags blowing in. The wind coming out of the south, and as Ranger fans know, it turns around and heads back out at lower altitudes. Swing and a miss by Cruz, and he's down to the count now, a ball and 2 strikes.
Now here's a really important time to make some contact. You've got everyone in the infield back. virtually any ground ball, unless once hit to the pitcher, is going to score the runner from third base. So just concentrate with 2 strikes and try to make some contact right here.
Yep. Situational hitting. Now time called.
Don't try to pull the ball. Don't try to hit a home run. Just put the ball in play.
Nelly thinking it over a little bit, trying to refocus. He's back in there, set to go to work. Dobront with the 1-2 pitch. And that evens the count. Cruz with that 2-run home run in last night's ball game out in Los Angeles, out in Anaheim. His 12th of the year, and his first home run, as a matter of fact, in the last 22 ball games. So he had hit a long dry spell. Now 56 RBI for the Ranger right fielder. Looking to increase that number right here. And Dobront can't get that breaking ball to bend in. The count has gone full. So Nelly Cruz hitting in the 6th slot. Trying to get aboard, extend the inning with some more runners. Mike Napoli waiting in the on-deck circle.
Dobront's a pretty good strikeout pitcher. He struck out almost a strikeout per inning. 6th in the American League in strikeouts per 9 innings. So he's not just a crafty lefty. He can tune it up there in 93, 94 miles an hour and strike you out too.
Now the payoff pitch. Got him swinging. Nope, foul tipped.
Just barely tipped it into Saltalamacchia's glove. Pretty good 93 mile an hour fastball. Looked like it had a little sinking action on it.
Well, he just barely got
he
a
must
piece of
have
it.
just touched that thing.
Just enough to get it to wiggle out of the glove. Nelly with newfound life. Back in there again. He'll get another shot at a 3-2 pitch. Dobront, the left-hander, is ready. Inside, ball 4. And that puts runners at the corners with one out, and Mike Napoli coming up.
With first base open, I don't think Dobront was that worried if he walked Cruz. He wanted to make a great pitch. Try to strike him out, try to get him to swing at a pitch out of the strike zone. If he didn't, fine. You walked him at first base. Still have a double play opportunity to get out of the inning.
Now the Rangers now look to Mike Napoli to get something done on the scoreboard. Knapp, as you would figure, had a great series in Anaheim against his former club. Had a 2-home run game on Saturday. And he had a great series against the Red Sox back in April. He went 6 for 9 in that series against the Red Sox at Fenway. First ball swinging. It's high and out of play down the right side. Well back into the crowd. It's 0-1. Napoli in that 2-game series at Fenway in April. As you get a look at his seasonal numbers. Numbers at the bottom: 6 out of 9, 3 home runs, 8 RBI in those 2 ball games. Dobront back to the plate. And again, Napoli flares it foul out of play. Mike, against the Angels, able to pick things up by driving the ball the other way and up the middle. He'd gotten a little bit pull happy before, and that had gotten him into a funk. Using the big part of the field, he was able to kind of get things squared around in his own mind. 0-2 pitch. Got him swinging. Big breaking ball, and Dobront gets a huge strikeout. There are 2 gone now. Brandon Snyder coming up.
Well, he's a strikeout pitcher. He got ahead with his fastball and put Knapp away with a good curveball. Not trying to throw this for a strike, trying to throw it for a strikeout, and he got it.
So Beltran Cruz at the corners. 2 gone now, and Brandon Snyder will step in. Snyder getting the start against the left-hander at first base this evening. And he takes the first pitch outside for ball 1. The year-long numbers for Snyder: 3 home runs, 9 driven in. And a good tailing fastball evens the count at 1-1. DeBron sets and checks the runners. One and 2. That foul tip into the glove of Saltalamacchia, and Snyder now down in the count.
Well, DeBron has a good fastball, good changeup, and you saw how good his curveball was, the one that he struck Mike Napoli out with. He's got a good assortment of pitches. Not a fluke that he's 10-4. He's pitching well.
The 24-year-old Venezuelan okays the sign. And the 1-2 pitch instead is a toss to first, and they cruise back standing.
He's also pitched a lot better on the road than he has at home. His ERA is .358, almost more than a point better than it is back in Fenway Park.
The 1-2 pitch. Call strike 3. Fastball nailed down the outside corner, and DeBron back-to-back strikeouts. Rangers are held off the board. Hit and a walk. After 2, 1-0 Boston. By Geico Insurance. 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. And by the all-new Mazda CX-5 with 35 highway MPG. And we move on to inning number 3 here at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. Mike Aviles, the shortstop and number 9 hitter, will lead things off against Scott Feldman. Off-speed pitch stays up and into the right-handed hitting Aviles. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Aviles has hit basically all over the order for the Boston Red Sox. He's hit first when Ellsbury was out of the lineup with his injuries. He was their leadoff man. He's hit cleanup a couple of times. And now in the number 9 spot with Ellsbury and Crawford back at the top of the order. This one skied to shallow right field. Easy play for Nelly Cruz. One gone. And let's go back down and visit with Emily Jones. Em?
Well, guys, obviously the bad news on Colby Lewis tonight. He thought he would be able to avoid this type of situation with the time off and then getting some injections in that forearm. But he felt like everything was good going into that start in Oakland, but it didn't end up that way.
Through my bullpen sessions, through everything, everything felt great. You know, leading up to it, long toss, everything felt perfect. You know, getting loose in the bullpen, I had no pain, no issues, and then, like I said, after the 3rd inning, it felt like it was, you know, just progressively got a lot tighter and tighter, and so.
Colby Lewis with tonight's Geico quote of the game, and Colby and the doctors obviously both hoping that that time off would allow him to continue to pitch through this. But as we saw tonight, it was not to be for him this season, and that does say a lot. Like you heard John Daniels say, this is a guy who has fought his way through some pretty tough situations, so you know when he is in pain and he's making it known that it is pretty severe.
Thanks, Emily. Yeah, there's no doubt that Colby didn't cry wolf very often as far as his health was concerned. If there was something there, he would let you know, but for the most part, a very workmanlike attitude toward pitching. And I think that's what people really appreciated about him. And no matter how big the stage got, Colby was always more than equal to the task. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Ron Washington, I'm sure, is saying, what in the world is going on? It looked like we were getting our pitching back together, and all of a sudden Roy Oswalt goes down with the back problem, and that necessitates Scott Feldman getting the start tonight. And now Colby Lewis not only going down with the flexor tendon problem, but headed for the operating room.
Colby had worked his way into being the opening day starter this year. He'd also been the Rangers' best pitcher in the postseason the last 2 years, too. Regardless of the opposition, what round of the playoffs it was, when he pitched, the Rangers had a great chance to win. So as you head, hopefully, to postseason play, that's a big piece of the puzzle that's going to be missing. A veteran guy who's performed there before, performed well, and has that experience. Not easy to replace that.
Again, the 2-2 pitch, and the breaking ball is low. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Ellsbury trying to get aboard with 1 out here in the 3rd inning. Carl Crawford, the number 2 man, waiting in that on-deck circle. Scott Feldman, a big sigh, and he goes to work for the payoff pitch. Up the middle, off of Feldman, and that's going to be in no man's land as Ian Kinsler couldn't get there in time. Feldman racing over there, but Ellsbury with his speed able to leg it out, and we just hope that Scott Feldman is okay after getting tattooed by that line drive.
That was a hard hit ball too, no doubt about that. Yeah, once that ball rolled slowly towards second, you were not going to throw Ellsbury out. He can fly. Just didn't carry him hard enough to Ian to have any chance to do that.
Jamie Reed out there along with Ron Washington. They're keeping an eye on Feldman to make sure that, look how you got him in the right leg, which was his push-off leg.
Early indications are positive. Looks like he's okay.
Well, Feldman staying in the ballgame. He will work to Carl Crawford with Jacoby Ellsbury at first base and 1 out. Crawford, that strikeout back in the 1st inning as Scott Feldman worked a pretty good 1-2 curveball to him. Be careful here with Ellsbury. He, even though he's just back off the disabled list, he's been running at every opportunity. And Scott Feldman normally doesn't alter his motion to the plate too much. He, being a big guy, long arms, long legs, he's fairly slow to the plate once he gets going. Ellsbury bluffed a move, and Crawford takes a strike. It's 0-1.
Ellsbury, one of the best combinations of power and speed in all of baseball last year. He hit 32 home runs, had 46 doubles, and stole 39 bases. Scored 119 runs. That's about as good a year as you can have at the top of the order.
Feldman, a long look over there. Now the pitch to Crawford. Swung on and foul tipped. It's 0-2. Ellsbury trying to get a jump, and says something to Alex Ochoa, the first base coach. 82% in his career. Jacoby Ellsbury has been successful in his stolen bases. Alex Ochoa at one point a pretty decent base stealer himself. Feldman okays the sign. Ellsbury just a little bit larger lead this time. He's staying put, and Crawford skies one to center. Not very deep. Plenty of time for Gentry to get there. Craig puts it away. And back to first goes Ellsbury. 2 gone now, and Pedroia will come up. Well, folks, if you're hitting the road this season, make sure and take the Rangers with you. Subscribe to MLB.tv today, and you'll see every Rangers out-of-market game live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit TexasRangers.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, it's baseball everywhere. Pedroia steps in 0 for 1. He flied to center field back in the first inning. Ellsbury looked like a running stance over there that time. He got down and he was stepping off that lead, and it drew a throw from Feldman. Pedroia, like so many of the Red Sox, has spent a little time on the disabled list himself.
Well, the Red Sox have had 22 players on the disabled list. 12 of them are either All-Stars this year or former All-Stars. So the injuries have hit the Red Sox as hard as any team this year.
And the Bobby Valentine MASH unit.
And Ellsbury and Crawford been on the disabled list pretty much the whole first half of the season. Those are 2 key catalysts.
1 ball, no strikes to count. There goes Ellsbury. The pitch is fouled back. Ellsbury will have to retrace his steps, and it's a good thing that Pedroia fouled that back, because Ellsbury had second base stolen easily.
The amazing thing is, with all the injuries the Red Sox have had, especially Ellsbury and Crawford, they still have scored more runs than any team in baseball. They've overtaken the Rangers now. Highest scoring offense in baseball with all those people on the disabled list.
Now the 1-1 pitch. Hit hard and fair down the first baseline. It caroms out to right field, and Nelly Cruz will cut it off. Well, the Rangers caught a break there, and that's not an easy play for the first base umpire, Chris Guccione, to make. And now he's going to get a visit from the home plate umpire, Bill Welke.
Well, Welke probably had a better view of it than Chris Guccione did. And I don't know that he'd go down there, Buzz, if he wasn't thinking about overturning it, would he?
No, I think you're right. And Guccione, when you see the replay, you'll see what happened. Guccione was trying to get out of the way of the ball, and as he was, he had almost his back turned to where the ball was at that moment. And all he saw was where it hit before getting to the bag, which was fair. So his ruling was fair, and I think that Bill Welke had a much better look at it. And now Tim Sheeta is going to intervene and get this called the way that he thinks it.
Evidently not. That's what I thought too. I think maybe because he got turned around, he just wanted to talk to him to make sure he pointed in the direction that he thought.
And you can see what Welke was talking to him. Bill Welke was talking to Chris Guccione. He said, yeah, I had a good look at it. And Bill Welke said, hey, if he thinks he had a good look at it, I can't overrule him. You know, it's his call once it gets past that bag. And Bill Welke giving the benefit of the doubt to Guccione.
Yeah, if that ball's foul, it's foul by an inch. And I think even if you had a better view from home plate, you'd have a hard time calling it as well. We just wanted to talk to him about it because it was such a tough call and make sure, are you sure that's exactly what you saw? Evidently it was.
The Rangers did catch a break, and then it carried right out to Nelly Cruz in right field. So runners at the corners. Here's Adrian Gonzalez, who is leading the major leagues in batting with runners in scoring position. He's hitting .411 this year in these situations. 0 for 1 tonight. Scott Feldman trying to keep this a 1-0 ball game here in the third inning. And the pitch is low. It's 2-0. Four home runs, 53 of his 58 RBI have come with runners in scoring position. There goes Pedroia. The pitch is looped down the left field line, but that's going to slice and go into the second row of seats. 2-1. And the reigning AL Player of the Week at the plate, Adrian Gonzalez. .429 the average. 21 total bases during the week. 3 home runs. He drove in a dozen last week. Tough assignment here for Scott Feldman. A little bluff to third and checking back to first.
Gonzalez hit close to 340 last year. He's struggling to get up over 300 now, but he's getting closer. Pretty good chance he'll be there before too long and stay there for the rest of the year.
Feldman set a long look at the runners. The 2-1 pitch. Good pitch, jammed him. Little pop up. Brandon Snyder near the bag at first, and an excellent job by Scott Feldman to get that 2-1 pitch in on Gonzalez. Side retired, no runs, 2 hits, 2 left after 2.5. Boston 1, Texas 0 on Fox Sports Southwest. For hosting clients, employees, and the suites can turn a game with family and friends into a special occasion. For your group of 10 to 200 to watch Rangers game in style, just visit TexasRangers.com/suites or call 972-RANGERS. A lot of folks partaking of the sweets tonight out at the ballpark. Great crowd on hand, and watching the Red Sox so far lead the Rangers 1-0 as we head to the bottom of the third inning, and Craig Gentry starts things off, takes ball one. Gentry, one of the hottest Rangers going. He's got a 5-game hitting streak coming into tonight. You see it average at 344. 1-0 pitch to him, and that's a little bit low. It's 2-0. Look at the numbers during that 5-game hitting streak. 474 the average. Brought back to him, and the butt is fouled back. Now it's 2-1. Craig Gentry 9 out of 20 on the road trip. Went on kind of a doubles binge too. He had 3 doubles. Scored 4 runs on the Ranger 8-game trip. Dobront back with the 2-1 pitch. Chopper up the middle. Cut off by Aviles. Turns and throws, and way too late as Gentry legs out an infield base hit. And for the 3rd straight inning, the Rangers have their leadoff man aboard.
You have a chance to get some runners, and Aviles made a nice play, but you have no chance to get Gentry. Would have been better off hanging onto the ball and not risking throwing it into the dugout.
It looked like by the time Aviles got rid of the ball, that Gentry was already slowing down.
Yeah. Buzz, we're going to have some changes in the booth.
What did I do now?
No, not that change. No. And we talk so much about how much we appreciate all the people that send us food, and we really do. The problem is we're starting to get so much of it that it's getting to be a little bit of a burden to announce them all during the game.
Yeah.
And I regret that we might not be able to do that anymore. But we've got a good idea. We're going to put them on the Fox Sports Southwest website instead. Tell you a little bit more about it. If you want to see everything that's sent to the booth, and you can hear us acknowledge the names of all the great fans that have spent the time and effort to get the treats to us, you can go to the foxsportssouthwest.com website and click on Tom's Treats. Those are some of the treats we got tonight. Those are the jalapeno peppers right there that were very good. All the previous games shout outs and all the video from it will be archived. And generally it's going to be on after the game. That won't be the case tonight. We're just getting used to it. So the stuff that we got today will be on that video tomorrow. And if you miss it, you can see it the next day. Anything that gets to us late, like during the game, will be a day late getting up there. But we're going to get it all up there. We want you to know how much we appreciate it. It's just become more and more difficult to do it all during the game. Hope that works out for everybody.
They're not going to put up pictures of us eating it all, are you? That's a little embarrassing for me.
We're going to try to do that, Buzz. try to get one of those big brownies right in your mouth.
Yeah, no kidding.
So we'll see how that works. I hope it works well for everybody.
Well, good deal. 3-1 the count to Kinsler. And Dobront will go first base way and drive Gentry back.
We'll still have an announcement or two here and there, but the food segment will be moved to the website. However, you will get a shot of it every night. We won't talk about it, but you're going to look at it anyway. You can look at it if you want to.
3-1 pitch. There goes Gentry, and the pitch outside, ball 4. And the Rangers have runners at first and second and nobody out with Andrews coming up. That's the second walk issued by Dobront tonight. So the first 2 hitters here in the 3rd inning aboard, and that's the first time the Rangers have been able to say that tonight. Now, if they can get 1 or 2 of them home, we'll have a different looking ball game.
And while Dobront's getting ready to pitch, I want to announce that James and Hazel Cavanis from Royce City, Texas, are celebrating their 65th wedding anniversary tonight. They watch every game. So James and Hazel, congratulations on your 65th. Hope you're watching tonight. Hope the Rangers can have a big inning here for you.
Elvis around to bunt and pops it up foul. That will be unreachable for Saltalamacchia. It's no balls and a strike. You know, 5 guys this year have had 3 10-game hit streaks, and Elvis is indeed right there at the top of them. Cano and Adam Jones, Angel Pagan, and David Wright. That's in all of Major League Baseball. And Elvis also leading the majors in sacrifice bunts while getting those hit streaks going. He has a dozen of them. He was asked to sacrifice and fouled the first one off. And Dubront spins to check back the jostled Craig Gentry at second base. Gentry and Aviles looked like they were shadow boxing back there. 0-1 the count. An inside move this time by Dubront. No action that time from Gentry and Kinsler. Elvis 0 for 1 tonight, lined into a double play back in the first inning. Red Sox still expecting Anders to bunt. The corners are up. Elvis not bunting here, and the pitch outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Normally it's been the other way around with Elvis at the plate. If Ron Washington was thinking about having him bunt, he'd give him a shot for 1 swing to maybe try to hit the ball the other way, and then if that was unsuccessful, ask him to bunt. This time he reversed it.
Red Sox aren't convinced yet that he's not going to bunt. They're still way in at third and first.
Yeah, Elvis not showing bunt, and it's foul the way to the right.
Gentry could have walked to third base. He had that base stolen. That ball got by the catcher. He's almost to third base. And there's no way the third baseman could have gotten back to cover third anyway.
Yeah. Now, would that play into your thinking as a manager when you have the kind of speed the Rangers do on the base paths about whether to ask Elvis to sacrifice bunt or not?
Yeah, I mean, after he missed the first sacrifice bunt, I thought that was a great opportunity right there to get the job done, not have to give up and out. I think it caught the third baseman Middlebrooks by surprise. He was expecting the bunt. He didn't bunt, swung away. The other thing with them in like that, if he does pull the ball on the ground or hit it to first base on the ground, you got a better chance of getting by him with him in like that.
That's 1 ball and 2 strikes, so the infield back at a more normal double play depth. You're brought to the plate, and the pitch foul back to the screen. And Saltalamacchia going to go out and have a chat with Dubront, and Mike Aviles will going to come in and say something too. Normally when that happens, somebody's upset about the pitch location. Either they didn't know what was happening, or want to find out if that's really where you wanted to throw it. Well, the all-new $2 Powerball from the Texas Lottery has landed, and the current estimated annuitized jackpot is $121 million. Play today because Powerball has changed for the bigger. One ball, 2 strikes. Greg Gentry at second, getting his lead. He is trailed by Ian Kinsler at first base. And Dubront back to the plate, and Elvis again trying to hit the ball the other way, which is the smart thing to do. Runners at first and second. A little tougher to turn a double play when the ball is hit to the right side. It's not the same kind of flow. You also have a better chance of getting a runner to third base that way. You see those numbers. Elvis not particularly overwhelmed when he has a 2-strike count on him, which he does right here. 1-2 pitch. Check swing, excuse me, foul ball over the Ranger dugout. We'll try it again.
Probably a good thing he was able to check his swing and foul that ball off. It's close to being a strike.
Get a look up the middle of the diamond as Gentry gets his lead from second. There go the runners. The pitch is low. Nobody covering either base. And there's your double steal.
Well, there's the sacrifice bunt, and he didn't give up and out. There's just nothing they could do to defense that. Gentry had already tried to steal third once, so it wasn't like it was a secret that he might try it again. This time Ian went right along with him.
The Red Sox kind of reacted like it was a secret. Nobody was going to any of the base paths.
They weren't.
And here, you guys just go ahead and advance 90 feet. We'll take that. So runners at second and third, nobody out, and a 2-ball, 2-strike count to Andrus. Hard hit ball up the middle. Behind the bag at second, Pedroia. Off balance throw. It gets over Gonzalez. 1 run home. Here comes Kinsler. He will score. And the Rangers have turned the game around. It is 2-1 Texas.
That might go as an infield hit and an RBI. It's definitely an RBI. The error, if it's not an error on the play, would be to allow the man from second to score. But nevertheless, it's a good at bat for Elvis. He battled with 2 strikes. They pulled the double steal off. He's trying to hit the ball the other way on the ground, trying to move the runners, which he did. Gets a little bit of a benefit on the play because the throw was high. I think that'll go probably as a hit and an error.
Yep,
it looks like.
That's what it's going to be scored like. Steve Weller, the official scorer. Infield single. The error allows the second run, Ian Kinsler, to come down the line to score. And Elvis gets his 39th run driven in of the year. And he also has an 11-game hitting streak.
And Gonzalez probably could have caught that ball with a jump.
Hamilton loops one down the left side, and that will be out of play.
He was trying to catch the ball and keep his foot on the bag because it was going to be a close play at first base. But he wasn't able to pull that off. The throw got over his head. Pedroia's throw is a little bit high, and well, maybe not. He did jump a little bit. If he jumped as high as he can, Buzz, he doesn't have a lot of hang time.
Another inch or two, and he's off the ground. Kind of like me. Hamilton takes low. It's 1 ball, 1 strike.
I do think as the ball was coming to him, though, he was thinking, keep your foot on the bag, which probably kept him from timing it perfectly with his highest jump.
Yeah, it looked like he might have come off the ground a little bit too early, too.
Maybe
coming back down. Hard to judge a throw like that, I would think. The guy going away from you. 1-2 pitch. Hamilton lines one down the left field line. That's in for extra bases. Elvis being waved around third. He will score without a throw, and Josh Hamilton drives home the 3rd run of the inning, and the Rangers lead 3-1.
That looks like a real good idea right there for Josh. Instead of maybe trying to pull the ball, trying to hit it too hard, just go with it and hit the ball to the opposite field. Pitch from DeBrant is probably a strike on the outside part of the play that stayed up a little bit, but it's a good pitch to hit to left field, and Josh did a great job of doing that. To play him over the other way, so anything you hit in that direction is going to go to the wall. The speed of Elvis on first base, and Rangers have a nice inning going right here.
Now Josh Hamilton safe at second. That's safe and secure New York life. Bob McClure, the pitching coach, out to have a talk with Felix Doubront as Josh Hamilton at second. Driving in his 79th run of the year, and the Rangers put a 3 spot on the board, and still nobody out here in the 3rd inning. Adrian Beltre stepping in. Doubled to left field his first time to the plate, and he was stranded at third in the Rangers' 2nd inning. And he takes a pitch a little bit tight for ball 1. Beltre now with the average at .318 as he faces Doubront here in the 3rd, trying to bring Hamilton home. 1-0 pitch. Hit down the right field line. Toward the line is Sweeney. Ball hangs up for him, and Ryan Sweeney able to make the grab. Hard out by Beltre, and the ball, that's not deep enough for Hamilton to tag and move to third.
Already in the game, Michael Young has hit a ground ball to the right side to try to move a man from second to third. Beltre was going the other way in that at bat. Hit the ball hard too. Just hit the line drive right at Sweeney.
The one out. Here is Michael Young now. Michael hitting in an even 270 as of this plate appearance. First pitch to him is a bit low for ball one. Michael had things pick up a little bit. He drove in 3 runs on the just completed Ranger road trip. He had 281 over those 8 ball games. One ball, no strikes to count. Young drives one to left center. That's going to be in for a base hit. Hamilton will move around third and trot home to score, and Michael Young with the RBI single. It is 4-1 Rangers.
And that can be a great formula for offensive success the last couple of months of the year. Watching Josh Hamilton and Michael Young both get hot at the same time, that would be a great thing. Big hit for Michael with a man in scoring position. Just keep the inning going.
Now, you tried to throw that cut fastball on the back door and got a little too much to the plate. So the Rangers have scored 4 times here in the 3rd inning. They lead 4-1. They have out-hit the Red Sox 6-4. And Nelly Cruz at the plate as Dubront comes in with a fastball low and inside, ball 1. Cruz drew a walk his first time up. Dubront about ready to throw his 26th pitch of the evening. And this is a young man who has had a little bit of experience in this ballpark, but none of it has been good. And an ERA of over 13 in his outings here at Ranger Ballpark. Swinging a foul ball. And Nelly Cruz enjoys hitting against the men from Beantown. Look at that, 381 career-wise.
Well, Dubront mentioned he's 5-1, 3.09 ERA on the road this year.
This may not count for him as a normal road start. Cruz, a ground ball fair down the line at third. Middlebrooks, a low throw dug out nicely by Adrian Gonzalez. Cruz is retired. Down to second goes Young. There are 2 outs. Let's head back to our Fox Southwest studios and a game break with Dana Larson. Dana? All right, Dana, thank you. Now, that's something I didn't expect.
Ichiro's playing left field and batting 8th. Well, he won't be calling the shots anymore, playing for the Yankees.
Don't think so.
He's in a whole different world now.
Yeah, that gets Seattle off the hook as far as what were they going to do with him after his contract expired. I think that pretty well answers the question. Dubront with a 1-0 pitch to Napoli, and it's right down the middle. Knapp taking all the way. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Napoli a strikeout first time up. Trying to pick up Michael Young at second base. Rangers have put 4 on the board here in the 3rd, and they lead 4-1. Fastball strike. It's 1-2.
Dubront has his pitch count. This will be his 66th pitch because of the long pitch count in this inning.
Left-hander with 41 strikes out of the 66 pitches thus far. He set a check of Young at second. Breaking ball got him swinging. Napoli out on strikes the second time tonight, but the Rangers come up with 4 runs on 4 hits. They strand 1 after 3. Rangers 4 and the Red Sox 1 on Fox Sports Southwest. Four to 1 as we head to the top of the 4th. Josh Hamilton, RBI double in the 3rd, driving in his 79th run of the year. And the top 5 Rangers in the order have at least 1 hit apiece. And the Rangers put 4 on the board in the 3rd. And also, in case you missed it, some news on the sadder side. Colby Lewis is scheduled for surgery on his right forearm sometime in the next week. Diagnosis today by Dr. Keith Meister of a torn flexor tendon will necessitate surgery, and Colby will miss the rest of this season and possibly the first part of 2013. But certainly wish the best for Colby and his recovery, his quick recovery and full recovery from that. At 32, he's not by any means a little long in the tooth to be having that stuff. He'll be all right. Rangers are going to miss him, though. Cody Ross leading things off for the Red Sox, who now find themselves down by 3 to Scott Feldman of the Rangers. Ross a strikeout his first time up. Feldman's 1-1 pitch on the outside corner.
Scott utilized that cutter very well early in the game. Best pitch of the game for him was the last pitch he threw to Adrian Gonzalez. Well, as you'd mentioned that he's the best hitter in baseball with men in scoring position. Red Sox had men at 1st and 3rd, and he buried that cutter right in on his fists.
Slow topper to 3rd. Beltre unloads from down south. That is out number 1. Let's say hello to Jim Knox again. Jim?
All right, thanks, Buzz. Fox Sports Southwest Fan Express rolled in this afternoon from Big Dallas, courtesy 1310 The Ticket. These guys having a good time on hand. Ticket Chick. Also the Fox Sports Southwest girls on hand. And this is Fallon talking about big day. She celebrated a birthday today, and everything okay on the ride, Fallon?
It's been awesome. Huge bus, lots of big fans, huge screen TVs. It's been a huge ride down here, so it's been awesome.
Anything missing on the bus?
There has been something missing. My uncle, Mike Reiner.
All right, Uncle Mike Reiner. Next time, save him a seat, all right?
Save him a seat next time. Thank you.
There we go. Good to have you on. Way to go, guys. Buzz.
All right, Jim. Always a fun time at Fan Express.
People have a lot of fun on that, boy.
Yeah, they do. Saltalamacchia swings and keeps it in the ballpark this time. Ian Kinsler in shallow right field, able to throw him out. And there are 2 gone. I say that facetiously. Saltalamacchia hit his 19th home run of the year the first time that he faced Feldman, but tonight a harmless ground ball. 2 gone, and Will Middlebrooks will step in.
You know, if you're Scott and you go back and you watch the replay of the game and you see the pitch that Saltalamacchia hit out of the ballpark, you just say chalk it up to that's the way it goes.
Yep.
Because it was a pitch down, barely a strike. Just golfed it out of here. Shows you how strong Saltalamacchia is.
Yeah, if you wanted to nitpick, you say, well, probably was too much in the middle of the plate.
Maybe.
Down. But, why nitpick on something like that?
Yeah, looked like the kind of pitch you'd get a ground ball on.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, there's a lot of left-hand hitters that like that low fastball, but still.
But I agree with what you said. Not many guys, even if they like that, are not going to hit it out of the ballpark.
Yeah, right.
Middlebrooks doubled off of Nelly Cruz's glove in deep right field last time up. Breaking ball is a bit wide. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Well, it's a great opportunity for Scott to get an opportunity to get back in the rotation. The better he pitches, the more starts he'll get.
A good sinker. Fires a strike there. And with the announcement of Colby Lewis being out now for the rest of the year, that Martin Perez will get the start tomorrow. Was announced today. Oh, a good sinking fastball, and he gets the strikeout. 1, 2, 3. Boy, that is a shutdown inning. A couple of ground balls and a punch out. 3.5 in the books. Rangers 4, Red Sox 1 on Fox Sports Southwest. The only 3 players since 2000 to hit a grand slam and have a cycle in the same game. And it's not just an accident that the Rangers are playing the Red Sox either, just to give you a little bit of a hint. Bottom of the 4th inning, Brandon Snyder, the only player not to hit in the bottom of the 3rd inning, starts things off and fouls it out of play. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Rangers sent 8 men to the plate in the 3rd, scored 4 times. Now Brandon Snyder to start things off, called out on strikes his first time to the plate. A ball and 2 strikes now to Snyder. And in this year against left-handed pitching, hitting .325. That really is the strong suit for Snyder. That's why he's in there against Dobront tonight. Getting the start at first base. 1-2 pitch. And the count is even. Dobront back to him. And a swinging strike 3. Boy, Dobront continuing to pile up the strikeouts. That's now 5 for the left-hander. He's got Napoli and Snyder twice each. And 1 gone for Craig Gentry.
Dobront coming into the game had struck out 99 batters in 102 innings.
Craig Gentry got the big 4-run third started with an infield single. Came around to score the first Ranger run of the night. Ball 1.
Gentry's been a catalyst for the Rangers down in that 9th spot in the batting order, boy. Makes things happen.
And that pitch is low. It's 2 balls, no strikes.
Got pretty good eye at the plate. Doesn't swing at a lot of pitches out of the strike zone. Gives you a tough at bat, boy.
And how much of that time, how much of watching pitches, taking close pitches, is a confidence thing with the hitter?
Well, I think Craig has gotten more and more confidence. It probably has a lot to do with it. When he first got called up, he was here as a defensive replacement, a pinch runner. Although he'd hit well in the minor leagues, he still had to prove that he could hit in the big leagues to get a chance to play a lot. And kind of gradually, he showed Ron Washington that he could do that, to where he started to play frequently against lefties. And now he's playing frequently against righties along with the lefties. And so I think, Buzz, along with the playing time comes the confidence. And he's a kind of a contact hitter. The more contact you can make, I think the more confidence you have, like Elvis, to take pitches and not be afraid to get behind in the count. A lot of us were afraid to take a pitch that was close because you didn't want to get behind 0-1 or 0-2 because you know you're an automatic out. But Craig and Elvis are guys that can make pretty good contact, so I think they have a little more confidence to take those close pitches, knowing they can hit from behind.
1-0 pitch to Ian is a little bit low. 2 balls, no strikes. But sure is an advantage, I think. It creates a even more formidable weapon in the American League anyway, when you have the DH, to have a guy that can run and get on bases as well as Craig Gentry when you have Kinsler and Andrews right at the top of the order following him.
Definitely. That was the formula for 4 runs last inning.
2-0 pitch to Ian, and he looks at a strike. Ian, a base hit and a walk. He has scored a run. Also swiped second base. Dobront back to him, and pitch called a strike, knee high inside cornering, and didn't agree with it. But Bill Welke said, I'm going to run my right hand up there. It's a strike. Now the 2-2 pitch. And that's popped foul. Saltalamacchia over to take a look, but it's back into the second row.
Rangers didn't take batting practice today. They got in somewhere around 3 or 3:30 in the morning. You know, Ron Washington let them all get to the park a little bit later than normal today to get as much rest as they could for the game tonight. We got lucky, though. We got to come home early.
Yeah.
We didn't broadcast on Saturday or Sunday, so we got to come home.
Kinsler shoots one to right center field. In a hurry is Sweeney. He can't get there, and it gets by him. Kinsler motoring into second, and he pulls up with a 2-out double to right center field. So Kinsler is 2 out of 2.
Hey, he kind of just reached out. Looked like he was almost fooled by the location of the pitch. He's trying to throw the ball in. It's a curveball that ends up away. And he drives it pretty well to right center field. It looked like Sweeney took a little bit of a sharp angle to the ball, and then right at the end has to go back out to get it when he realized he couldn't catch it. Not sure if he could have cut it off in the first place, but
Think
it goes for a double.
That jet stream effect out there?
It looks like he carried pretty well.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell exactly how hard Ian hit it, but it looked like it was a little bit out in front of a curved ball that was 3 or 4 inches outside. It went out there pretty good. It looked like it might have had some effect on it.
Yeah, I would think so. Nothing wrong with that. Play the elements.
Hey, they're there for both teams.
Here's Elvis, who had an RBI infield single his last time up. He is 1 out of 2. And he takes the pitch just a little bit low as Gilbrant pulled the string on him. So Elvis now on an 11-game hitting streak, 39 RBI for the Rangers shortstop. Got Ian Kinsler out there at second base, as you can see. And pitch chop foul. It's 1-1. Now here's the AT&T Uverse reverse replay. Elvis the first time up. Ground ball up the middle at Pedroia. Made an off-balance throw. It got over the head of Adrian Gonzalez. 1 run had already scored in Craig Gentry, and that allowed Ian Kinsler to come in from second base. Via third base, obviously. And it ended up being a 2-run play for the Rangers, and they kept it going from there and put up 4 in the inning.
And DeBrant's already going to throw his 85th pitch. Not out of the 4th inning yet. It'll be a short outing for him tonight, no matter what happens from here on out.
Elvis back in the batter's box. 2 balls, 1 strike to count. Gilbrant ready. And fires low. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. Now Gilbrant this year has gone over 110 pitches twice. Actually, he's gone 110 one time and 111 one time, and that's been about it. So
I guess he could get through 6 if he had a couple of speedy innings in the 5th and 6th, but at this rate, it's not looking like it.
That pitch foul back, and the count now has gone full to Elvis. And only one time this year has Gilbrant gone more than 6 innings. He worked 7 innings back on June 13th. And that was one of those outings where he just had 1 walk and 9 strikeouts and threw under 100 pitches in 7 innings. But other than that, he's been limited to pretty much 6 plus or less. Left-handers ready, and the payoff pitch coming. Chopper out toward Aviles. Shortstop triggers the throw, and that will do it for the Rangers. So the 2-out Kinsler double to no avail. We'll go to the 5th inning in Arlington. It's the Rangers 4, the Red Sox 1 on Fox Sports Southwest. and Answer, who are the only 3 players since 2000 to hit a grand slam and have a cycle in the same game. And the answer to that would be Benji Molina. Now, you Ranger fans remember that in Fenway Park in July of 2010. Then Jason Kubel and Miguel Tejada.
Yeah, there's been some great cycles in baseball history, but I got to rank Benji Molina as his #1.
Yeah, for unexpected, and the cycle's not really expected anyway, but that triple that Benji hit where they had to wait for him to catch up with everything, that was great. I love that. Ryan Sweeney starting things off. Rangers loving this. It's 4-1 Texas. Scott Feldman back to work, and Sweeney skies one to center field. Easy play.
Oh boy, we're going to get to see it. There's his base hit. Oh, this is his double. Got a little help from J.D. Drew on the double. There's the grand slam dead center, and here's the all-timer. This is what makes it an all-timer.
Do we have time for this? Yeah, I guess we do.
A little help from the center fielder. Benji's going, oh no, I got to go to third.
Somebody put a stop sign up for me. That was great.
There's the antlers.
Yeah, that was great.
That was the play that was when he decided to retire. Right there. That was it. There was no more left.
Nothing else I can do after that.
And that would be the voice of Rangers Live co-host Mark McLemore. Mac, appreciate you coming along. And yeah, anybody who saw that really appreciates, I think, baseball, because that's something that you don't get a chance to see very often. Benji Molina, not only just a cycle, but getting the triple for the cycle and having a grand slam in there too. Mike Aviles is caught looking, and he will make that U-turn and head back to the dugout. 2 gone.
No, you really don't see that. And for the triple, which is the hardest one to get, and a catcher that is probably arguably the slowest major leaguer that I've ever seen get it to be the last hit. I mean, it really looked like he was walking to third base, and then he thought about sliding, which actually just would have been a fall at that point. Yeah, that was one of the most memorable plays I've seen.
I didn't realize that in Fenway, apparently from second to third is uphill. That's what it looked like with Benji.
He hit it to the only part of the park where he could get a triple. It's 420 out there to right center field. On both the double and the triple, he got a little help from the outfielder. Both balls were somewhat catchable. It went off his glove, rolled away from him, and I remember thinking, oh no, this might happen.
Well, that's usually what it takes when you get the cycle. You normally have some help from an outfielder to get that last one, but Benji got an awful lot of help.
I think about it, that's an inside the Parker for you, Mac.
Ellsbury fires it out of play. We'll give you that memorable call.
You got the cycle, big guy. Get there. He did it.
They're jumping up and down in the dugout too, boy.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is the 6th career triple for Benji Molina and his first ever cycle, and the most unlikely thing to have happened maybe in Ranger history.
That's a triple.
Meanwhile, Jacoby Ellsbury nailing one the other way, and he will hang on with a 2-out single. He is aboard for the 2nd time tonight. So Ellsbury 2 out of 3.
You know, it sounds like an exaggeration when you say the most unlikely thing to happen in Ranger history. But when you think about it, 1 at bat to hit a triple to get the cycle for Benji Molina.
That's right.
It's right up there. If not
that is up there.
It's right up there.
And Adrian Beltre had to be there to witness it too. So here's your ball.
Big guy. You deserve it. He's looking at him like,
really?
How'd you do that?
Really? Did you just do that?
Yes.
Is this a dream?
I wasn't watching. You must have cut across from first to third. You couldn't have gone all the way around.
Well, Benji wasn't here very long, but what a great guy. I really enjoyed having him here.
Yeah, he's one of those great teammates that everybody wants to have. you don't know how good of a teammate he is until he's a teammate. You played against him for years, and all of a sudden you're in the same dugout every day. You really get to see the value of a guy like that.
Toss to first, and Ellsbury back. And, you know, something that kind of goes overlooked, at least from people's remembering what happened in 2010, was the job that he did helping Neftali Feliz become a late inning closer type personality. I mean, he'd go out and talk to Nefty and get him going. You know, Feliz had been messing around a little bit, trying to figure out how he was supposed to close and what he was supposed to do late. And Benji went out there and just said, look, here's what we have to do. Now do it.
He was very instrumental in giving him that mindset, letting him know what that mindset of a closer, a successful closer, is supposed to be. And, you know, I think it became even more evident the following year after Benji retired. He came back and got his World Series ring, and he got Neftali and talked with him again. Here's what you've got to do. This is what you're supposed to be doing. That shows you exactly what Benji meant to this team the year before. To be able to come back the following year and you're retired, to be able to talk to a guy like that.
That's a real good point. Crawford gets jammed, and a little bouncer that Brandon Snyder takes care of. So the 2-out single by Ellsbury, no problem. We're halfway through the ball game in Arlington. It's the Rangers 4, the Red Sox 1 on Fox Sports Southwest. Hey, Ranger fans, meet Rangers outfielder Leonis Martin tomorrow and sign up to be a Whataburger What-A-Fan. Don't miss his chance to win great prizes and meet one of your Texas Rangers at Whataburger. There's Leonis. Yorbi Torrealba discussing things about how good it feels to be back home and be on top of the Red Sox 4-1. Josh Hamilton gets fisted on the first pitch he sees from Gobron and rounds out to second. So one pitch, one away here in the fifth, and Adrian Beltre will come up. Hamilton had that RBI double in the third inning, and maybe as important for him as it was for the ball club, just to get off that mental picture that you have of striking out, being the tying run in a ball game after having a tough night anyway last night in Anaheim. Josh able to drive in a very important run here tonight. And Adrian Beltre looks in a big bender in and over for strike one.
Yeah, I think it was good for Josh to jump out there and get and be able to drive that run in, and from first base. That was it's got to be huge, a big lift for him.
You think it would? Did it help having had the history that he had against Dubron, having had a triple against him in Fenway, even though it was a year ago?
I think it always helps when you've got some history with a pitcher. You know, it gives you that, you know, not necessarily an edge, but you now have an idea of what that pitcher is going to do. So I guess it gives you a little bit of an edge, but you still got to execute. The pitcher has to execute as well. So, but just having an idea what a guy is going to try to throw you in a certain situation really helps.
2-2 to Adrian. Beltre double leading off the second, and last time up, you know, the line drive to right that Ryan Sweeney was able to run down. So Braun a double nod and a breaking ball in the dirt. Swung on and missed. Saltalamacchia fires high, but in time to get Adrian, and that is out number 2. Let's go back to our Fox Sports Southwest studios for a Mazda CX-5 game break. Here's Dana Larson. All right, Dana, thank you. Dodgers look like they are starting to right the ship a little bit after some pretty difficult times. Michael Young, the hitter, 1 out of 2 tonight with an RBI, and he takes strike one.
Be interesting to see what their record is since Matt Kemp's been back. It seems as though since he's been back, he's brought a little fire to him.
Yeah, they were without Kemp and without Ethier. They're still without Ethier, I believe, but well, that's 2 guys in the heart of that order that pretty tough for them to compete very well without for any length of time anyway.
You know, I think the new playoff format with the extra wild card is really coming into play now, with some teams sustaining some injuries and not necessarily staying where they were in the standings and letting other teams creep back in. It's created an interesting summer so far.
Some teams that normally would be sellers about this time of the year saying, well, we might have a shot now. Let's hold off a little bit on making that big deal.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting the last 2 weeks of September if you've got 5 or 6 teams in each league fighting for those spots.
Michael Young drives one high to right field. Going back is Sweeney. He's camped under it and makes the catch. 1, 2, 3 and out are the Rangers. Mac, thanks very much for joining us. We will catch up with you on Rangers Live after the ball game.
All right, we'll see you later.
All right.
Top of 6 here at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. The Rangers on top of the Red Sox 4-1, and just a little bit more on Colby Lewis. And you know, John Daniels talked about the fact that this team will regroup and they will assess the situation and move on from there. And obviously, the Ranger fan base has all the trust in the world in this front office. But the bottom line is Colby Lewis was this team's opening day starter. And guys, as you well know, a difficult man to replace in the rotation and in the clubhouse. Another thing to keep in mind, this was a contract year for him, and the Rangers got him at a bargain coming back over from Japan, and he has been way better than advertised and was in line to perhaps gain his career contract this year. So a lot of things going on with Colby. He was very emotional tonight when he spoke to reporters about what was going on. And, you know, you feel for him. You don't think about those things in this game of baseball, but they are very impactful things, not only for this organization, but for Colby and his family personally.
Yeah, good point, Sam. I think they're extremely important. And no, it's not something I don't think that we as fans consider all the time. But boy, the human element, the human part of the equation certainly is extremely important. And especially when a guy that you have such a good feeling about, like Colby Lewis, the kind of person that he is and the kind of guy he's become over his trials and tribulations coming up through the Ranger organization and going through all the armed miseries before. And you really have to appreciate what he's been able to do. Pedroia laces one to left field. That's in for a leadoff single against Scott Feldman here in the 6th inning. Well, Pedroia has 2 hits in 3 trips to the plate. He's aboard, and Adrian Gonzalez now coming in.
They got into a fastball count there, 3-1, and even though the pitch was on the inside part of the plate, he was geared up to hit a fastball and was able to do it.
6 base hits now for the Red Sox.
Jammed him a little bit, but still muscled it out there pretty well.
Gonzalez has been pitched pretty tough tonight by Scott Feldman as he takes a sinker for a strike. Tanner Shepard's right-hander starting to loosen in the Ranger bullpen. Gonzalez, first time up, swung at the first pitch, hit it right off the end of the bat, rolled one out to Kinsler. And last time up, with runners at first and third and 2 outs, he got ahead in the count, 2 balls and a strike, and Scott Feldman made a great pitch up and into him. He just hit a little jam shot pop-up to get Scott out of a tough spot. As a matter of fact, that was the top of the 3rd inning. The Rangers came back and put 4 on the board in the bottom of the 3rd and have not looked back since. Now Feldman again the advantage in the count to the former Ranger Adrian Gonzalez. Scott about ready to throw his 84th pitch of the night. Instead, it's a little toss to first. Feldman 83 pitches, 54 strikes. And the 1-2 swung on and missed. Well, for the last week's American League Player of the Week, Scott Feldman has worked him over something fierce here tonight.
Well, if you're Gonzalez, you went to bat that time remembering the cutter that he ran in on your fists the last time up. And when you're a great hitter, you remember those things, and you're probably aware of the cutter inside. And then on that pitch, he went away with a ball that tails away from him. And you could see by the swing that Gonzalez had that he was thoroughly fooled by that fastball. Wasn't able to make contact with it.
Now here's Cody Ross, who's 0 for 2. And the breaking ball is outside for ball 1. Ross a strikeout in the 2nd inning and a ground ball to 3rd in the 4th inning.
A combination, we've said it several times, to a left-hand hitter. Cutter in, sinker away. Vice versa, cutter away, sinker into a right-hand hitter. That combination very effective for Scott.
Two balls and no strikes to Cody Ross. Scott Feldman making his first start in almost 3 weeks as Dustin Pedroia at first base, a leadoff single, and then the strikeout of Adrian Gonzalez. Now it's 2 balls and no strikes to Ross. Skied to right field. Backing up is Nelly Cruz. He will just barely step onto the cinders and make the grab. Good throw into second base. Keith Pedroia at first. There are 2 away, and before Saltalamacchia comes up, let's say hello to Jim Knox again. Jim?
All right, thanks, Buzz. You know, a big milestone tonight as far as Ranger attendance, and John Blake of the Rangers is here to talk about that, John.
Well, Jim, we have a crowd of over 44,000 here for this game tonight. Puts the Rangers over 2 million in paid attendance on the 46th home date. 4 home dates earlier than ever in club history. They went over on the 50th home date back in the first year of this ballpark in 1994. Fans should be congratulated. Now it's on to 3 million.
There we go. All right, John. Appreciate it. That is good news. Rangers keep winning. The fans keep coming out. Appreciate it. Thanks, fans. Way to go. All right. There we go. Buzz.
All right, Jim. Yeah, thank you, fans. Believe me. And if every player had the opportunity, they would thank the fans. Pitch to Saltalamacchia a little bit too high. Now, the Ford leaderboard will give you the all-time leading attendance at Ranger Ballpark in Arlington. Last year setting the standard, 2,940,000, almost 7,000. 1997, the other full year of more than 2.9. And the pitch low to Saltalamacchia is 2 balls, no strikes. But this year, yeah, 3 million, certainly within reach. Rangers, if they stay on the same pace, a little over 43,500 per game. Going to be up about 3,200,000 or so. Toss to first, and Pedroia back with a dive. Scott Feldman has the sign he wants. 2-0 the count to Saltalamacchia. There goes Pedroia. The pitch is inside. The throw to second. Oh, they got him.
Great throw by Napoli. Got a pretty good jump, too.
2-6 on the caught stealing. That throw taken by Elvis and slapped the tag on Pedroia. We'll see you later. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. 5.5 have gone by. Rangers 4, Red Sox 1 on Fox Sports Southwest. For the Sonic Slam inning, brought to you by Sonic. Tonight's jackpot is worth $600 and dinner for 2 at Sonic Drive-In. Tonight, the Rangers are hitting for Martha Valdez of Irving. And if a Ranger hits a grand slam during the inning, Martha Valdez from Irving will win $25,000. You can register at any participating Sonic restaurant. And a shot overhead of the Captain Morgan Club. One of the newest additions out here at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. The whole center field area revamped in the offseason. And what a great looking facility. A lot of new inside stuff for the kids to fun zone out there, and the Captain Morgan Club. The backdrop in center field, the Batter's Eye Club. Pitch to Nelly Cruz, and the count goes to 1-1 strike. Cruz 0 for 1, walk and a ground ball. Dobront back to him, and the pitch misses inside. Robbie Ross now has taken the place of Tanner Scheppers. Might be an indication that Scott Feldman's night has come to an end. If it has, he has done yeoman work tonight. Scott Feldman working through 6 innings, allowing just 1 run on 6 hits.
Yeah, I think if Scott had pitched a little more frequently, he'd probably be in line to throw another inning. But not having pitched for a couple of weeks, can't ask for any more than what he did tonight.
Cruz fouls it out of play, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now, Scott Feldman in his last start got over 100 pitches for just the 2nd time this year, but his last start was back on July 4th. Last time to the mound before tonight was on the 8th of July here against Minnesota. The 2-2 pitch to Nelly, and the count has gone full. Well, Cruz trying to start the 6th by getting aboard. He'll be followed by the Ranger catcher, Mike Napoli. Rangers 4 runs on 7 hits. Red Sox 1 run on 6 hits. A time called as Nelly Cruz tired of waiting. Dobront with the payoff pitch. Low, and that is ball 4, I believe. And
Nelly didn't believe it.
Yeah, give me one more. I want to take one more shot at him. But he will draw the leadoff walk, and that'll bring Napoli to the plate. Third walk issued by Dobront tonight. Go along with his 6 strikeouts. The left-hander who just passed the 100-pitch mark. And he will work to Napoli, who has struck out twice this evening. And first ball swinging. Napoli hits a towering foul ball. That'll be well out of play on the right side. It's 0-1. Well, that was a pretty good pitch that Napoli, I would imagine, is mad at himself about fouling away. And the 0-1 coming to him. And again, fouled out of play to the right.
Same spot.
Napoli, a little wry smile on his face as he looks over to the Ranger dugout. So 0-2 the count. This is exactly how the first at bat he had this evening went against Felix Dobront. A couple of high fouls on fastballs away, and then the curveball got him. 0-2 pitch. And that time was the fastball that just missed low. 1-2. Franklin Morales, the left-hander, loosening in the Red Sox bullpen. Dobront set a check of Cruz at first. And the pitch low and outside, 2-2. Dobront had been, if you look at the bullpen numbers, Dobront had been the streak stopper for the Red Sox. He had won 5 times in the 8 starts after a Red Sox loss. And the Red Sox, of course, came in having lost 3 straight. Another foul off to the right by Napoli. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Napoli wagging that bat back and forth, and Dobront now ready. Boy, Nap's really geared up for a fastball, and if he sees it well, he's hacking at it. He's fouled them off so far.
I'm surprised Dobront hasn't thrown him the curveball that he struck him out with last time.
Maybe he thinks he's looking for it.
Maybe.
There it is.
There it is. That's why he didn't throw it.
That was why he knew he was going to not be anywhere close with it. The count has gone full now to Napoli. Cruz at first. We'll see if Ron Washington decides to turn Nelly loose. Napoli hitting in the 7th slot in the Ranger order. He'll be followed by the first baseman, Brandon Snyder. Left-hander ready. And the payoff pitch coming. Napoli hits a towering drive to left field. If it's fair, it's gone. Goodbye.
That's what we're talking about.
Mike Napoli, home run number 15, a 2-run shot, and the Rangers lead 6-1.
Well, it's the last 2 months of the year, and that's when Nap got hot last year. That's great to see right there. Fouled off a couple of pitches he thought he could hit. Got another one, and he did hit it.
We also have a Sonic winner, Martha Valdez of Irving. You just won $600. Our Sonic Slam inning. You know, the 8th pitch of the at-bat, and a fastball got into the hitting area for Mike Napoli, just above belt high, and boy, Nap gave it a ride. That had some re-entry burns on it.
You saw that about 20 times last year in the second half of the year. Home runs, doubles off the wall. Nice insurance runs right there.
Bobby Valentine out to the mound. That's going to do it for his left-hander, Felix Dobront. Rangers have opened up a 5-run lead. It is 6-1 Texas. We'll be back to tell you about the new pitcher when we come back right after this on Fox Sports Southwest.
thanks to a 2-run shot from Mike Napoli, and it is the second half of the season, and it does appear that Knapp is waking up at the plate.
Feeling better, but I still need to put my work in and try to get that consistency, having a good at-bat every time. So I definitely feel better, and I feel like I'm on the right path.
Knapp went on to say that it is good to get those bombs, but it's also important to work the walk. You there saw him take a number of pitches. He said he's just trying to grind it out, have good at-bats, whether they result in a walk or a home run. He'll take it any way he can get it at this point, guys.
Yeah, good stuff. I mean, it's really important, too, to the two go together, don't they, Tom, as far as grinding at-bats out and then having success, too. I mean, one doesn't come without the other from time to time.
Yeah, I think having success makes everything fall into place for you. It makes you feel like all the hard work you've put in has paid off.
Snyder headed toward the corner, and that's going to be trouble. Sweeney plays the carom, but Brandon Snyder's sliding into second with an opposite field double, and that's how Franklin Morales is greeted.
I think if part of grinding out at bats means waiting for good pitches to hit, then that's a good formula to use. I think the best way to stay in a slump is to expand your strike zone, be too anxious, and give the pitcher the opportunity to get ahead in the count without throwing strikes. And Knapp is a guy that has always been a pretty patient hitter. And I think if he can lay off pitches out of the strike zone, get his pitch to hit, and then start to hit it, get the confidence up, have some success, it kind of all takes off from there. Sure saw that happen for him last year, and it'd be beautiful to see it happen again this year.
Greg Gentry showing bunt, pulls the bat back, and the pitch is a bit low for ball one. Gentry 1 out of 2 tonight. He's extended his hitting streak to 6 straight ball games. That single in the 3rd inning. He's also scored a run and had a stolen base. Gentry had been a pretty good quiet time as far as the steals were concerned. He didn't have a stolen base, a successful stolen base in his last 23 games prior to tonight. Two and 0 the count. Snyder the runner at second. And a ground ball headed to center field, a base hit. Snyder being waved around third. Ellsbury up with the ball, will toss it into second. An RBI single by Gentry. It is 7-1 Texas.
Well, Craig Gentry continues to do everything we've been talking about, making things happen from that bottom spot in the order. Came into the game hitting .344. He had an infield hit that started a 4-run rally. Now he's got another hit that drives in the 7th run. There he is with nobody out, trying to hit the ground ball the opposite way to move the runner at least to third. If you get it through, you bring him all the way home.
And the first pitch to Ian Kinsler is low and inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Kinsler 2 out of 2 tonight. Single, a double, also a walk and a run scored, and a stolen base. The Rangers getting things back in order. They have now gone into double figures in the hit column. Snap throw to first, and Gentry a little late reading that move and had to dive back at the last second. Morales with the 1-0 pitch. And that's low. 2 balls and no strikes. Now that RBI single for Gentry, also the Rangers' 4th hit of the night with the runner in scoring position. And Kinsler bangs one to left field, a base hit. Gentry smoking around second. The ball gets by Crawford, and Gentry will not stop. He's around third and will score. Into third with his stand-up is Ian Kinsler. And the antler comes out again. 8-1 Texas.
There's where your speed forces something to happen defensively. I don't think Crawford on that ball necessarily expects to see the runner going to third base, but with Gentry, he never stopped. Ball's right in front of him. And maybe that's why Crawford missed it, as he tried to hurry up and maybe have a chance to throw Gentry out at third base. It's a hard hit ball that Crawford's going to cut off easily, and not many runners are going to try to go to third, and maybe that's why Crawford lifted up, took his head off that ball. Gentry never stopped and scores easily on Crawford's error.
Well, the Rangers have upped their lead with their second 4-run inning of the night.
Crawford wasn't even going to have a throw to third base to get Gentry.
Missed Elvis's foul back. That's going to be scored a single and a 2-base error. No RBI for Ian Kinsler, but he did pick up his 3rd hit of the night.
Yeah, that was a hard hit ball too. Jumped on that fastball.
And that's the second Boston error of the evening. The infield all the way in now, and the pitch is high. It's 2-1 to Elvis. Boston trailing 8-1 with the runner at third, and still nobody out here in the 6th inning.
2 4-run innings so far for the Rangers. Could turn into more. In fact, there's a great chance it's going to turn into more with nobody out.
Well, Elvis swinging through that fastball, and it's 2-2. Andrus, an RBI single back in the 3rd inning, drove in his 39th run of the year. He's trying to get up to the even 40 mark in runs driven in. Morales back to him, swung on and missed, and Elvis won't get it done this time. First out of here, their 6th inning comes on the strikeout, and now Josh Hamilton will come up. We'll see if Josh, with a runner at third and less than 2 outs, can put together a real solid at bat and get another RBI. Put him up over the 80 plateau, or put him at the 80 plateau. Kinsler at third, coming down the line. The overshift on by the Red Sox, even though they're ostensibly pulling the infield in. This ball hit pretty well to left field. That's deep enough to get the run home. A catch by Crawford. Kinsler tagging, comes across home plate, and Josh Hamilton, with his 2nd RBI of the night, makes it a 9-1 Ranger lead. That is RBI number 80 on the year for Hamilton. So Josh does indeed get the job done. And the Rangers have only scored in 2 innings tonight, but they put up crooked numbers in both those innings. And that's, I guess, is bordering on being very crooked. A 4-run 3rd inning, now a 5-run 6th inning. And the base is empty. Adrian Beltre with a 1-ball, no strike count. And Morales comes back to him and misses low and away. Beltre 1 for 3 with a double. And the off-speed pitch catches the outside corner. It is 2-1. Beltre high and deep to right field. Sweeney is going back, but he pulls up shy of the wall and makes the catch. You know, Adrian gave it a ride, but came up short. Rangers, though, didn't come up short. 5 runs in the 6th inning. On to the 7th we go. 9-1 Texas on Fox Sports Southwest. Your Texas Ford dealers. Head to your Texas Ford dealer and drive the best in Texas. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. Now, the Rangers have rethought possible tonight, and they've come up with a pretty good answer. 9-1 as Scott Feldman goes back out to pitch the 7th inning, and Jared Saltalamacchia takes strike one. Saltalamacchia got the lone run on the board for the Red Sox with his home run back in the 2nd inning. He takes just outside. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Mark McLemore, as always, teaching. A bunch of young guys and talking baseball with him and talking the experience that Mark McLemore has had. Hope those guys are taking notes. Two-one pitch from Feldman. That ball hit well to center field. Gentry is going back. He's at the track. He leaps. It's off the top of the wall and stays in the ballpark. No, Saltalamacchia in at second, within inches of hitting his 2nd home run of the night, and within inches of making the catch, Greg Gentry. We've seen a little bit of everything here tonight.
Hard to see how that ball stayed in the ballpark the way it bounced. Let's take a look. Right off the top of the wall. If it hits another inch, it skims the other way. Gentry's high enough. He just didn't get far enough to the right. His glove is right there to catch it. It just wasn't in position to catch it.
Yeah, Bobby Valentine had gone out to
that's definitely not a home run.
Ask Bill Welke about a potential review of a video review of this boundary call, if you will.
It hit right on the edge of the padding.
Yeah. Yeah, from what we've seen, there's no chance that this will be overturned and ruled a home run. But
well, the umpires do what they have to do.
Right. They're obliging to go take a look at it. Shouldn't take them more than one look to see that there's still a dent out there in the padding where it hit. So if the video evidence isn't there, there it is. You've got the physical evidence that's still there.
It hit on the edge. If it hits another inch and on the top, then it skims the other way. You see, Craig's high enough. Would have been a great catch. He just didn't get far enough to the right to catch it. His right.
It's kind of like your ball mark on the green. You have to go repair that.
Someone's going to have to. That's a great shot. You wouldn't think a ball would do that to it.
Yeah. Boing.
That'll be an easy one for the umpires. They'll be back before you know it.
Dennis Klein, however, will have to get a seamstress or whatever it is that whoever it is that takes care of that. Get that out there before tomorrow's game. So that didn't take long. The umpiring crew back out, reassuming their positions. It is ruled a double. Bobby doing what he had to for his players. So lead off a two-bagger now, Will Middlebrooks. The rookie third baseman for the Red Sox steps in. He is 1 out of 2 tonight with an opposite field double and a strikeout. And Scott Feldman drills the first pitch right in through there. It's strike one. Saltalamacchia is double, the 7th hit of the night off of Scott Feldman. Late swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Feldman about ready to deliver his 97th pitch of the night. Right-hander staring at the series of signs, has the one he wants. 0-2, a ground ball hit to the left side, cut off nicely by Beltre.
Another tailing fastball that jammed a right-hand hitter. Nice job by Scott.
1 out, and Ryan Sweeney coming up. Now tomorrow's pitching matchup brought to you by Chevron. It'll be Clay Buchholz, 8-3 for the Red Sox, and Martin Perez recalled to take the spot of Colby Lewis. Martin Perez left a very favorable impression with his work here before being optioned back to AAA just about a week ago. But he is being recalled, and he will get the start in place of Colby. Ryan Sweeney 0 for 2, a fly ball and a ground ball right back to the mound. Feldman's 1-0 pitch. That hits the outside corner. Scott Feldman very efficient tonight, pitch-wise. Saltalamacchia has really been the one thorn in his side, and he's out there at second base again.
Another broken bat. Sounded like one. Guess it didn't break, but he got way in on the handle with that cutter. Now 1-2. You can pound him in there again. You can make the fastball tail away on the outside corner. You could dry the curveball in the dirt to get him to swing. Pretty good shape to do anything you want right here.
Feldman's 1-2. Little half swing looper out to Adrian Beltre, who makes a basket catch.
That was the cutter in.
Yeah.
Couldn't even really get the head of the bat out. Tried to check his swing. Couldn't do that either.
Sweeney retired on a rather harmless little pop-up. Adrian Beltre doing his Willie Mays imitation.
And one thing he did, he used two hands, though, boy, for all you kids back home. He did the basket catch, but he had that top hand there to make sure the ball stayed in the glove.
Now Mike Avila steps in. Avila is 0 for 2.
I think Ron was ready to make a pitching change without those 5 runs in the 6th inning. But with only 6 guys in the bullpen now, every inning that a starter can go extra saves that inning the bullpen has to pitch. And Scott ends up going 7 innings. That's 1 less inning they have to pitch out there. The first time Scott goes 7 innings. He pitched a great game. Remember, the Red Sox, as we mentioned earlier, have scored more runs than any team in baseball. So he's not shutting down one of the lower teams. He's shutting down the best offensive team in baseball right now.
1-1 pitch. Right back to Feldman.
Another jam shot.
And that will do it. So Scott works around the leadoff Saltalamacchia double. 1 man left stranded, and it's stretch time at the ballpark. Rangers leading the Red Sox 9-1 on Fox Sports Southwest. is brought to you by Ace Cash Express, earning your trust since 1968. And by Jack in the Box. Get the All-American Jack Combo, a no-nonsense burger, fries, and a drink for only $4.99 plus tax. Michael Young starting off the bottom of the 7th inning and drives the first pitch he sees to pretty deep center field, but Ellsbury able to track it down. And one pitch, one away for the Rangers. Texas leading 9-1. They have out-hit Boston 11-7 tonight. Franklin Morales came on in the 6th inning. Gave up 3 of the 5 Ranger runs in that frame after taking over for Felix Dubron. One out. Nelly Cruz looks at strike 1. Cruz a couple of walks, a run scored tonight. 0 for 1 officially. Morales misses low and inside. Oh, a big rip and a miss by Cruz. It's 1-2. Nelly waiting. The 1-2 pitch popped up behind home plate. That will reach the seats out of play. Still a ball and 2 strikes. Morales, the 26-year-old left-hander, comes back to the plate, and another foul ball. Morales at 6 feet tall, 210 pounds. Came over to the Red Sox last year from the Colorado Rockies. Back in May of 2011. And a fastball is low. The count is even at 2-2. Morales has spent his entire career in the Rockies or in their organization. Signed to them in 2003. Now the 2-2. Call strike 3. Cruz caught looking. That fastball just catching the outside corner. He is gone. There are 2 away from Mike Napoli. Now let's go back one more time to the Fox Southwest studios for a game break. Here's Dana Larson. Dana. Thank you, Dana. Yeah, rejuvenate from what we saw of Ichiro last time we were in Seattle last week, the week before last. It's going to take some rejuvenation.
Yeah,
it looked like he was a little bit out of energy.
Last couple of years, he's been hitting below 300 for the first time last year. Less than 200 hits. His on base percentage is down below 300 right now. So if he needs a little boost, he'll get it from the Yankee fans. Yep. He goes over there and goes 0 for 15 with 4 little jam shots to shortstop. He's going to hear it from those fans.
Knapp is swinging a miss, and it's 2-1. And the pitch outside. 3 balls and a strike. I understand Ichiro in his first at bat with the Yankees got a single. Wonderful left the infield.
How strange is that? The icon gets traded to a team that's in Seattle playing.
Right.
I guess it's their way of saying goodbye. Give him a chance to anyway.
The call strike, and the count is full. Well, Mike Napoli last time up. An 8-pitch at bat, and Felix Dubron finally got a pitch on the inner part of the plate. The Napoli just drove right on out of here. Big swing and a miss, and that will do it. Napoli strikes out for his 3rd time tonight, but Rangers will take a lead to the 8th inning. It is 9-1 Texas on Fox Sports Southwest. Brown Hen Center. Great hands of the game. And all the runs and everything else going on. Give a big hand to this guy, Scott Feldman. Boy, he was really the story of the game tonight for the Rangers. From a pitching standpoint, he held the Red Sox down for 7 innings to just 1 run on 7 hits. And first time this year that Scott Feldman has gone 7 complete innings. Now Robbie Ross has taken over.
Yeah, when you watch that little clip with all the pitches, the thing that stands out is the movement that he had on those pitches. That was just incredible.
Robbie Ross, the 23-year-old left-hander, fires a strike to Jacoby Ellsbury, who's starting off the Red Sox 8th inning. Ellsbury 2 out of 3 tonight. Ross back to him, misses low. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Mark Melanson, the right-hander, up and throwing occasionally in the Red Sox bullpen. Check swing, the appeal to third, and no swing, says Jeff Nelson. Count has gone full. Ross with a payoff pitch, in the air to left field. Josh Hamilton in just a couple of steps. And that's out number 1. Robbie Ross worked 2/3 of an inning last night in the ball game, unscathed in that Angel 7-4 victory over the Rangers. Remember, he had his 23 or 24 inning scoreless streak snapped in Oakland on that Wednesday afternoon game. Carl Crawford is swinging a foul tip. It's 0-1. Crawford tonight 0 for 3.
Crawford signed a huge contract, free agent contract, to leave Tampa Bay to go to the Red Sox last year. It didn't go very well for him. He only hit .255. And he was injured this year, trying to come back from the injury and show the Red Sox what kind of a player he really is. Terrific player in Tampa Bay. Getting better and better every year, showing a little bit of power. Fell back last year.
Swing and a miss, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. Ross back to the plate. It's 2-2. I don't think there were any misconceptions that Carl Crawford wasn't a great player. I think the length of contract, the 8-year contract, and the dollar amount maybe caught some people off guard a little bit. But I think there's a very high regard for his ability. Swing and a miss, and Ross gets the strikeout.
High regard for Robbie Ross coming out of the Ranger bullpen too, boy. He just keeps getting it done, appearance after appearance.
Well, folks, we'd like to invite you to join us on the border every Wednesday night for dinner. And that goes through August the 8th, and you can enter to win free Rangers tickets. Visit iloveontheborder.com for more details. Pedroia, hard ground ball up the middle. That will sneak its way into center field for a base hit. And Pedroia, a 3-hit night.
Robbie had a chance to spear that one, just went right by him.
Well, Dustin Pedroia has the 8th hit of the night for the Red Sox. He's aboard with 2 outs. And Adrian Gonzalez coming up.
Buzz, you know as well as anybody as a pitcher what looks simple to us watching that play. Not so simple when you're 55 feet away following through, not expecting it, is it?
No, it's and the older you get, the tougher it is. Robbie probably saw that ball and reacted very quickly to it. You get a guy that's 3 or 4 years older or 5 years older, that's a whole different story.
Art Fowler was our pitching coach in Denver back in 1970. In addition to being our pitching coach, he was probably 48 years old, maybe 50 years old. He was our closer.
Yeah.
And all he threw were probably 83-mile-an-hour cutters, and little sailors, and no one could hit him. But he was blind in one eye. And so he used to wear shin pads on his legs, in case he got hit by a ball.
Oh, what a play by Brandon Snyder. Well, you can continue that story as we get off to the next half inning. What a play. And that'll do it for the Red Sox. No runs a hit. They leave one. 7.5 have gone by. Rangers 9, Red Sox 1 on Fox Sports Southwest.
Sox for the score 9-1. Buzz and Tom, time for the Progressive fan of the game. It has to be Brooke, big Texas Ranger fan, season ticket holder, all the way from Burleson. Hurt her ankle wakeboarding today, but such a big Ranger fan decided, hey, crutches and all. I tore some ligaments, but that's not going to hold me back. I'm coming back to the game tonight. Congratulations, Brooke. Here's the bag. Here's all the goodies. Anything you'd like to say?
Yes, this is so worth it. I might be in a lot of pain, but it's worth watching the Rangers beat up on the Red Sox. And Tom, me and my sister are baking you cookies for tomorrow.
Tom, there we go. Way to go, Brooke. Progressive fan of the game. Yeah.
Hey, you got something to look
there,
forward to.
I wouldn't even have to announce that. That's one.
Right.
She just did it for me.
You get a replay of that, put it on the Fox website.
There we are. Yeah, for those of you that weren't listening in the third inning, we're going to start showing the food segment on the Fox Sports Southwest website.
Mark Melanson, the new Red Sox pitcher. He takes over after Franklin Morales worked a couple of innings. Melanson, the guy at the Red Sox signed to come over and help out at the tail end of the bullpen, and it just hasn't worked out so far. And Brandon Snyder lofts one high in the air to right field. Sweeney backpedaling a bit, makes the catch, and that is out number one.
And Melanson had a rough outing against the Rangers earlier in the season, back in April, when the Rangers swept that 2-game series. And a guy that came over in the trade with Houston for Jed Lowry has been a good player for Houston. Expected to be a late inning setup guy, ended up having to go back to the minor leagues. Had a hard time getting his feet underneath him in Boston.
Here's Craig Gentry, who's 2 for 3. And Melanson fires a strike. Gentry an RBI, a couple of runs scored tonight. Batting average at .349 as Melanson comes back to him. 1-1 now. And from out on the West Coast, the Kansas City Royals have jumped out to a 2-0 lead over the Angels. I believe that's C.J. Wilson throwing tonight, if I'm not mistaken. Swing and a miss by Gentry, and it's 1-2. C.J. Wilson and Bruce Chen, a couple left-handers throwing in that contest. Swing and a miss. Gentry gone on strikes.
Good overhand curveball by Melanson right there. See, one of the reasons Red Sox liked him in the trade. That pitch.
Yeah, going back to that brief 2-game series in April, he just never got to the point where he could throw that pitch. Rangers never let him get to the second or third pitch.
The Red Sox were hot early in the season, boy. I mean, the Yankees. Well, the Yankees might have been too, but what I'm talking about is the Rangers were hot early in the season. They just destroyed the Red Sox in that 2-game series.
He had a perfect night going. He is 3 for 3. Couple of runs scored. A walk, a stolen base. Melanson back to him, and a little cue shot down to Adrian Gonzalez. That'll do it as the Rangers go quickly and quietly in the 8th inning. And after 8 complete, it remains the Rangers 9 and the Red Sox 1 on Fox Sports Southwest. Brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Head to your Texas Ford dealer for the summer sales event and enjoy some of the greatest deals of the season. Ford is the best in Texas. By Budweiser, great times are waiting. Grab some buds. And by the Progressive Insurance Group. For a money-saving car insurance quote, call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE today. Now Tanner Shepard, the young right-hander, on to see if he can close the door on Boston here this evening. A 9-1 Ranger lead. Cody Ross starting things off. He'll be followed by Jared Saltalamacchia and Will Middlebrooks. Shepard's the third pitcher used tonight by Ron Washington. A shot by the diving Adrian Beltre into left field. A leadoff single. Cody Ross And a rifle shot that Beltre got just a bit of leather on, not enough to make it stay in the glove. Well, folks, to celebrate 40 years of baseball in the Metroplex, Metro PCS is giving away 40 Samsung 4G LTE phones. Enter to win at all participating locations. Metro PCS, wireless for all. Now here's Saltalamacchia, who's 2 for 3. Home run and a double that went right off the corner of the top of the fence. Stayed in play. Ross not being held aboard at first, and the pitch to Saltalamacchia is fouled away to the left. Tanner Shepard, the 25-year-old from Mission Viejo, California. Worked on Friday night with an inning and a third against the Angels. He's seen his numbers improving steadily each time he's gone out there. Breaking ball inside. And it's 2-1. Tom, you're talking about Craig Gentry gaining confidence and with the experience that he's having. Tanner Shepard's another one of those guys that, the more he goes out there, he's really showing improvements.
Yep. And he's a guy, confidence should come pretty easy to him when you're throwing 97 miles an hour. He's got a change up, pretty good curveball.
Well, the next Bluebell Ice Cream Sunday at Rangers Ballpark is this weekend. Rangers take on the White Sox. It's a 6:05 game. And in addition to dollar ice cream, the first 10,000 kids 13 and under receive a blue Elvis Andrus jersey. That's compliments of Dr. Pepper and Walmart. Get your tickets today at TexasRangers.com. Check swing, he went around.
That's better than a pretty good hook. That's a really good hook.
One out, and let's go get a preview of Rangers Live tonight. Here's John Radigan.
Yeah, Buzz out here on the set in the Captain Morgan's Club. I will be joined by Mark McLemore, so if you want more Mac, we can accommodate you during Rangers Live. Also, an emotional Colby Lewis after he has heard that his season is done. We'll hear from him. And, of course, lots of post-game reaction to this win. 9-1 now. We'll be back after the game, guys.
All right, John. Will Middlebrooks lashing a shot up the middle off of Shepard's. That puts runners at first and second with one out, and Ryan Sweeney coming up. Middlebrooks with his second hit of the night. Red Sox have 10 base hits. Rangers have 11, but the Rangers certainly grouped them together much more effectively. Had 4 runs on the board in the third and 5 runs in the sixth. Meanwhile, the Red Sox tonight have only had 2 innings of their 9 so far where they have not had at least a base hit. But the only run, as we mentioned, coming across on Saltalamacchia's solo home run. And the pitch to Sweeney is outside for ball 1. Sweeney 0 for 3. Ground ball, a fly ball, and a pop out. Missed the first pitcher that Sweeney has faced tonight other than Scott Feldman, who was just outstanding. And a chopper foul outside first. Scott Feldman in his 7 innings of work allowed 7 hits, just the 1 run, no walks, 5 strikeouts, 105 pitches, and 66 of them for strikes. Tanner Shepard's trying to lock away this Ranger lead here in the 9th inning. Shepard's with a 1-1 pitch. And that's low and inside. Talking about Tanner Shepard's time about it's easy to be confident when you throw a 97. It's amazing how many guys that throw 97 aren't confident.
No, and I think, Buzz, that's true. It doesn't matter how hard you throw. To really be confident, you have to get people out and enjoy success to make you confident. So, yeah, that's true.
Pitch outside. The count has gone to 3-1.
There's been some guys that threw 95 to 100 miles an hour that didn't have much of a big league career because they couldn't throw it where they wanted to. Didn't have the movement that Scott Feldman had tonight. So much for throwing 98 miles an hour.
3-1 pitch. Hit in the air to left center field. Cruising over to his right. Greg Gentry puts it away. And that is out number 2.
Scott showed tonight that with an 89 to 92 mile an hour fastball, that you can make move like he did in both directions. You can come close to dominating a game against a really good offensive team.
Well, Bobby Valentine's going to send up a pinch hitter for Mike Aviles. It's Pedro Siriaco, utility infielder that was called up just the first week in July. Siriaco, the right-handed hitter up there, the last hope for the Red Sox tonight. And he looks at a pitch just a little bit high for ball 1. Siriaco hitting at 356 in limited play. He has driven in 6 runs so far. Jeffers back to him, and Siriaco hits one to right field. And cruising back is Nelly Cruz. He hauls it in, and that will do it for the Red Sox in the ninth. No runs, 2 hits. They strand 2, and the Rangers capture the first ball game of this 10-game homestand, this 3-game series against the Red Sox. The final tonight, the Rangers 9 and the Red Sox 1. Rangers 9 runs, 11 hits, and no errors. The Red Sox 1 run on 10 hits and 2 errors. So Rangers getting back in the winning column. They now move to 19 games over 500 and 57 and 38. And they're now 30 and 16 here in the friendly confines of Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. Scott Feldman, an outstanding job tonight. He wins his 4th ball game of the season. He goes 7 innings and allows 7 hits, 1 run, and 5 strikeouts. And Scott Feldman getting the win. Felix Dubron takes the loss. He is now 10 and 5. And it took just over 3 hours, 3 hours and 4 minutes to complete here this evening in front of a crowd of 44,132. So the Rangers get the job done, and they will be back in the win column as of tomorrow. And now let's go down to Jim Knox with our star of the game. Jim?
All right. Thank you, Buzz. Ian Kinsler, great game tonight, 3 for 4. Also scored a couple of runs. Seemed like you guys got back on track tonight. Nice night at the plate.
Yeah, I mean, Feldman threw the ball great. He did a great job for us. He picked us up big. And that's all we could really ask for. I mean, he held them to 1 run and with our bullpen, and you know, it was nice to swing the bats tonight.
Yeah, talk about Scott Feldman. 7 strong innings. I mean, he just about dominated a very good offensive team tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he was working both sides of the plate with his cutter and his sinker, and that's really all he needed.
How nice is it to get back home after a long road trip? Finally get back home, sleep in your own beds, get the fans back on your side.
Yeah, you got to love playing in this ballpark with the packed house we got, the crowd the way they are. It's a lot of fun to be home.
All right, appreciate your time. Congratulations, the big night, Buzz.
All right, Jim, thanks very much. Well, I'm going to wrap this up right after this short break. John and Mac are going to wrap up the game for you. Again, the final 9-1 Texas on Fox Sports Southwest.